Namaskaram. 5 years back, I decided to break all the barriers against all the odds and be myself. I decided to leave all the negatives behind and explore, experience, live with joy. And life is difficult, isn't it? So, I decided to explore my gender identity in phases. Initially, I began with wearing, what I want. So, that was a big question. What are you going to wear? Sari? No. That wasn't my thing. So, I decided to, carry a purse. I would go to teach my students, taking my mother's purse. So, there was curiosity. People wanted to know, why? Why a purse? I would just ignore. I would just ignore those comments at the station where people would say, "Ye ladka hai ya ladki?" I had my best friends with me. I had my earphones and wonderful music, to keep myself stress-free. I kept moving on. So the next step was at my research institute where I was pursuing research. I applied a red lip color and I just wanted to be me. So I went there and I could smell this pungent odor, which was really bad, and a sense of discrimination which just spread like a wildfire. And unfortunately, it just came from my dear teacher, because of whom I exist as a human being. She said, "तुम मेरे सामने ये lip color लगा के बिल्कुल भी नहीं आए." I was hurt. I was deeply hurt, especially when my dear friend called me a non-biological woman. I was shattered. I decided to not go to college often. It really hurt me bad. And I would just go for some time and return back home, because these people were my dear people. These people were the reason because of which I existed. And they broke me. So I moved out. I went places. I got a job at an organization, a so-called small organization, as per the CFO, who was a feminist. So the management discovered that I am a trans woman when they saw my WhatsApp profile picture. And they were very upset about the fact that I did not inform them prior that I am a trans woman, so they wouldn't have hired me. Wow. Isn't that awesome? My gender identity is the reason for them to hire me. So it was International Women's Day, and all the women were taken out for lunch. The management was aware about my existence and my hard work, that I was putting to help the organization grow. But they never acknowledged. They did not give me an opportunity to allow myself to be exposed, or at least create awareness amongst their staff. I felt broken. I decided to quit, because as rewards, I was just getting discrimination and helplessness. So to overcome all this, I thought I should do something that is my passion, and that was teaching. So with a dear acquaintance, I could manage going to a BMC school and teaching the underprivileged. And it was bliss when I could very easily clear the misconceptions that the society had, especially amongst the underprivileged, about people beyond the gender binaries. And it was very important, an eye-opener for the children, because when they got to know about it, they went home and told their parents. And soon we had a PTA meeting where parents came and they started kissing my hands. And they were like, "You are the ray of hope in our lives. And you are the one who would bring change in the society and create equal opportunities and safer space for our children so that our children won't get discriminated. And we really wanted me to be with them. But life is tough. There came a time when I could sense that there's something wrong going to happen. And yes, the wrong intentions of the headmaster there. They asked me to leave because I was putting my heart and soul in teaching the needy there. They said that don't worry, we have sponsors. You don't have to teach them so much. And that was the end of the journey in the school with a lot of love and memories, not just from the children but also from their liberal parents. It was a wonderful journey until I had to go back to the college where I was called to join as a faculty member. I was going as a visiting faculty there, and I was called for a meeting one Tuesday when I was checking with the papers. The HOD of the department mentioned, when do you stop applying your red lip color and just come without it? It hurt me because it was coming from a woman who was telling another woman that not to do something that is a part of her identity. And to justify this, she says, students छोड़ के चले जाएंगे अगर उनके parents को पता चलेगा कि तुम उनके teacher हो. Isn't that an amazing justification? I realize that this is not the right place, where I'm putting my heart and soul again, and yet I'm getting discriminated. So I moved out from it. I moved out with a positive note. I thought about the HOD's family and her child who were going to suffer if I would have taken some actions which would have been very bad. And my family had to suffer. My mom and my brother had to suffer. I moved on again to earn my bread and butter and to share it with my family. I moved on to work with an organization where I worked for 9 hours in an air-conditioned room, and I had to pee. I was not asked to go into the washroom because my documents did not have a gender marker and a photograph which matched with the gender identity that I carried. So there were many other such issues. My documents, my salary was blocked, and there was nobody to support. So this is just a snippet of my story. This brings me to ask you questions today. Did we ever produce any documents to enter into a washroom? Did we ever prove our identity, gender identity, to get a job for a living? Did we ever get discriminated or thrown out by our families because we identify ourselves as a particular gender beyond the binaries? Did we ever imagine our lives experiencing begging or commercial sex working? Did we ever imagine how difficult life would be for a transgender person? Are they not humans too? I say yes, they are humans. They are human beings who deserve equal opportunities and a better life just like all of us here. And so I come as a voice. I stand with them. And I want to convey a simple and, a short message. That let there be love, peace, acceptance, equal opportunities for all of us to make this world a better one to live. And yes, I am a trans woman individual, but I am a human being as well. That needs to be considered. Thank you.